Welcome back to the Joust About Careers podcast. This episode features the highlights of the conversation with Tiffany Johnson, a 2005 Van Buren graduate who is the Data Asset Manager within North America Market Operations for Procter Gamble. The highlights focus on how a typical day looks for Tiffany, how data is much more than numbers, degrees people could earn to get started in the field, the importance of being adaptable, and much more. If you want to learn more about Tiffany's career journey, you can always watch or listen to her full interview. And if you find this podcast useful, please share it with someone else who could benefit from it. Enjoy the highlights, and I'll see you here next Monday for a brand new episode. Have a great week.
My typical days vary. I am obviously remote today. I remote a couple days a week and then travel into the downtown Cincinnati office at least 3 times a week, sometimes more, sometimes less, just depending on what's going on. A typical day for me is lots of meetings. Typically, we have some kind of a large project going where we have a scrum meeting first thing in the morning where we're checking in to make sure everybody's on task. And then from there, it's just kind of what other projects do I have moving right now. I've got a big initiative to try to get our Databricks components from our launch pads connected to our data catalog. So that's meeting with our customer teams, large customers like Target and Amazon, making sure that they are ready to go to get those connections stood up, and then kind of explaining all the benefits that that connection will provide to those customer teams. Other than that, it's making sure people are adhering to our publication and subscription policies in place for our data lake. So it's a lot of governance still. Yeah. I actually got into data when I started working at Cooper Tire there in Findlay. I was on their master data team. So I was dealing with their customer, vendor, and finance master data. And that is data about their actual customers and the vendors that you're working with. So it's not always numbers. Sometimes it's things like an address change that you need to maintain in the system to make sure that you're able to communicate with the right company. And where I'm at now, I'm actually more interested in the metadata, which is data about the data. So we buy data at Procter Gamble from our big customers so that we understand sales and things like that. But we're also producing data from our own products, which is our company's master data. And I am more interested in the data about the data. So Target, Amazon, things like that, they subscribe to tables within our, what we call our core data lake, which is a data repository. And those subscriptions to those tables are what I am most interested in. So what tables are being utilized across our, what we call the 14+4, our big major retailers, and how they're utilizing that data, where that data is being used in reports, how they're storing it, are they adhering to the subscription laws that we have in place? Is it PII data, so personal information data? Is it high-res data? Do we need to be purging that data at any point in time? Lots of policies and governing of that data. There's definitely a couple that stand out. Ohio University had a really great MIS program, so Management of Information Systems. I took a lot of those classes because I was interested in it at that time. But the other really emerging degree now is a data and analytics degree. Even going back to school and getting a certificate, or going back for, to get a master's degree, that is something that would help me tremendously, because I am having to learn on my feet, where a lot of our interns that are coming in are specializing in data and analytics, and they already have the background of Power BI or Tableau to be able to take the data and make these really great visuals and be able to understand the analytics behind the data. I am having to do that now retroactively, but I'm learning on my feet as I go. I take classes on the side. I'm continually learning, and P&G is a really great place to be for that, because they really support continuous learning. So where I started out at Cooper Tire and was in master data, you certainly don't. I had people on the master data team when I was at Louisiana Pacific that did not have a 4-year degree, because you are on the front end of data entry and creating processes and things like that. And really, you can get that experience anywhere. If you want to be more on the technical side, I think a 4-year degree is definitely beneficial, especially if you've got an MIS, a business background, and then you've got the really specialized things in data where it's, data scientists, where they're building those large models and training the models on bringing back that data. So it just depends on where you want to be within the data community. There's good things and bad things. I would say Louisiana Pacific it was very easy to get things done because it was on a much smaller scale. Where I'm at now, it takes a lot to get all of the right people to the table to make the decision to start moving forward. And of course, everybody is busy and has other things on their plate besides the project that we're all on. So it's a lot more, I would say, you have to have the influence to be able to get everybody around the table, get everyone really excited about whatever the project is, and to get things moving. It also provides you a lot of opportunities. So where I'm sitting right now within North America Market Ops is a great spot, because the saying is, if North America does well, P&G does well. So there are millions of roles within just the North America sector that I'm sitting in that I could move into. So lots of opportunity for moving around, not only, climbing a ladder, so to say, but I could really jump from where I'm at now in a central role into a more customer facing role with Target or Amazon, or go down to Fayetteville in Arkansas and work for the Walmart team. There's lots of different areas. Whereas if you're someplace smaller, you may hit that ceiling a lot sooner. I think probably the biggest thing is just the ability to adapt. So technology is ever changing. Something that I've seen over and over is people become really, really good at one specific tool. And when you do that, you pigeonhole yourself. Companies are bringing on new tools and offloading tools all the time. I've gone through several rounds of it. Almost every place that I've been, whether it's an SAP upgrade, a new implementation, you're bringing on a new tool for governance purposes, you have to be able to continuously learn and continuously adapt. So somebody that does really well can put their head down and learn it, but then also be open to the change that is inevitably coming down the pipe at any moment in time. Like you said, AI is becoming a big thing. You have to learn that. You have to know how to utilize that and have it as a tool within your toolbox to be able to get to the next level. I've seen lots of companies die by tools. They hire data engineers that are unable to truly code because of the low code, no code solutions that are so prevalent in the market right now. And you end up with people that are highly skilled with a certain tool, but you remove that tool and they don't know what to do. And that is, I've seen it happen in lots and lots of different places, and it really has an effect on the overall business and overall team structures. I think the biggest thing is that career paths are not linear, right? Like I started out with the Hershey company. I took several years off to start my family. When I rejoined, I got a job in a field that I had no idea what to do. I landed at Cooper and had never touched SAP, but I fell in love with it. And that kind of defined my career path since being at Cooper. But it was because I was open to an opportunity where I didn't feel like I was prepared, but I was able to walk into that interview and truly sell myself and say, hey, I'm a really quick learner. I get my hands dirty. I love improving things. I know that I can make this organization better. So having the confidence to go and sell yourself and just take leaps of faith when you can. And it might not always be the next step up career-wise, title-wise, money-wise, but if it feels good and you're enjoying it and you're moving yourself forward and you're continuing to learn, that's what it's all about.
If you liked this Joust About Careers episode, you can explore previous episodes and highlights to learn about even more careers of Van Buren graduates. To be sure you don't miss upcoming episodes, please click subscribe on YouTube or your favorite podcast platform so you'll know when the next episode is released. Thank you for spending a portion of your day with us, and we hope you will continue to prepare for your future by learning just about careers.